Welcome to the Luxe Leap. My name is Reland Logan, and we chat with women-led businesses making bold moves, big wins, and the secrets to extraordinary branding. So I have a question. What do you get when you mix serious tech chops, unstoppable resilience, and a whole lot of heart? Natasha Golinsky is an award-winning web development and e-commerce agency founder, a three-time Canada, wow, we're making up new country names over here, everybody, Canada Women of Influence Award nominee, a proud mom of three, and a total breast cancer butt kicker. She built a thriving business in a fast-paced digital world, all while raising a family and staring down challenges most would never choose. Natasha brings real-world grit and a fierce sense of purpose to everything that she does. And she's here to remind us that strength in business and life isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. Please welcome the powerhouse who codes, leads, moms, and conquers with heart, Natasha Golinsky. Hi, Natasha.
It's an amazing intro. I want to copy that. That was so good. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
So much better than what I sent you.
Yeah, I something tells me that I might be a brand expert. I don't know.
I love it.
But I am so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that we got to get to know each other in the last few weeks. And it's going to be, well, by the time everybody listens to this, we'll have known each other for months.
I can't. It's awesome. You're such an inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so kind. Well, today's about you. And I want to know, on the notes of inspiration, what inspired you to start your brand? Give us just a brief Reader's Digest version of your story.
Absolutely. I mean, I run a web development agency, and I'm like the quintessential accidental agency owner, where I was a management consultant in the nonprofit sector. And I had a client who was wanting me to find someone to help him fix his website. And I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. And went online, got a guy, overseas, didn't know what I was doing. Brought him in, he fixed the site. The next thing you know, we're doing the next site and then the next site. And here we are 10 years later, and I to date have never built a website. So it was absolutely never set out to do it. I was never a freelancer who wanted to run a bigger team. It was just like all of a sudden I was like, okay, here we are. This is what we're doing. I'm like, okay, and here we are. Yeah, 10 years later.
Like, take me with you. I'm yours.
Exactly. No idea what was going on. To this date, I still don't really know what my team does all day, but doesn't matter. It's not my job, right? So
Exactly. That's really what it boils down to, is like understanding this is my lane, that is your lane. You tell me what's happening over there. I keep the wheels turning.
Call me if you need me. Exactly. Like, you do you, I'll do my, exactly. I do my lane, which is to make sure that you have a job, and then you can do your job, and everybody's happy.
I love it. I would need more women to have that mindset of, you don't have to do it all.
No, you can't.
Let them trust them to do their jobs. And chill.
Yeah. No, please. You can't.
I love it. So when you think about, I mean, going from being a management consultant to owning a web e-com, because e-com is like one of the hardest web design things to do. I won't touch it with a 50-foot pole. And I have a degree in fashion marketing and worked retail for 1 million years. I remember the rise of e-com.
Yeah.
And anytime someone's like, can you do my e-com site? I go,
no, it's not easy.
It's not easy. So when you think about that, and you think about, that's one huge pivot, but what is a pivotal moment in your brand's journey that really defined where you are today?
I think during COVID, I was thinking about this a lot. And I think during COVID, we were slammed. We were busy. Like, anyone who worked in web was obviously super busy during COVID. And we doubled our revenue during COVID. But I remember at the time, everyone and their dog had kind of become a web developer. And now all of a sudden we were sort of being treated like a commodity. Where before we were it wasn't quite as much a thing as much. And then after COVID, it was oh my God, every time you turn around, this new person doing websites, right? And so during COVID, we made a really hard pivot to be no, we are not going to be treated as a commodity. I am not going to nickel and dime for $40 an hour like the rest of the world. And we made a really hard pivot to be custom, complex, code-driven dev work. And I just sort of carved out my lane that way. Because I'm not going to compete, and I'm not going to have this conversation with everybody all the time about how are we different and this and that. It's I just repositioned us that we are the team you call where you need something tricky done. And like I said, I don't know how anybody does it on my team, but that's just what we do now. So
I really love you're like, I just trust them to get it done.
oh yeah, I just have really smart people, and it kind of became one of those things. Like I said, I've had the same team more or less since like day one, and they just kept getting smarter and smarter. And so I just had to keep selling harder and harder projects. And so now it's just at the point where I sell stuff and I just check with them on like, hey, do we know how to do this? And they're like, yes or no. And I was like, okay, and sometimes I still sell it, even if I don't know, if they don't know, because I'm like, I know they'll figure it out. They're smart. I'm like, I'm not worried at all. And then
everything's figure outable.
Yeah, everything's thank you. Exactly, Marie Forleo. I love that. Yeah. Totally. And that's the thing, is like brilliant people need a challenge. So if I'm only selling work that they know how to do, they're all going to be bored pretty quick. So I don't know. I like to kind of keep them on their toes. And how hard is it to learn new stuff? It's not always hard, right? And I don't know. I just trust my team that they're smart, and I mean, obviously I run it by them before I sell anything. I'm not going to sell it cold, but yeah, I'm very much like, they're like, hey, I don't know. I'm like, could you figure it out? Yeah. Okay, let's go. I'm like, okay.
Like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I love that you touched on, like, you reposition, because I think I told you this the last time we were speaking, but I do hundreds of brand audits. Like, it is these video brand audits. And when I do them, the amount of cookie cutter things that I see, like, make me a little cringy. Like, I just like felt it, my jaw tense up without trying.
Yeah.
Because people are too afraid to position themselves where they want to position themselves, but then they're also frustrated on the other hand, where they go, how did somebody word it the other day? Because it was perfect. They didn't want to change their positioning because they were too afraid that people wouldn't get it. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, but every single time that somebody talks to me, they ask me how I'm different and that so-and-so is less expensive. So why should they pay me? And I was like, because you never answered it before.
Exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. I had a call with a woman yesterday too. It's like a networking call with a colleague of mine. And she was talking about, she's like 6 years into her agency. And she just is finding like, she's getting more and more pushed out, like price wise. Right. Mm-hmm. I said, well, you need to explain why. Like, why you, like really clearly. And it's not going to appeal to everybody, right? But the people who need you are going to need you. And it takes a lot of courage to position yourself, especially very narrow, right? Mm-hmm. And like I kind of say in our team, like we only do web development. We don't do design. We don't do copy. We don't do branding. We don't do SEO. We do the build. We do the tech. And we don't do anything else. That's it. That's all we do. And that's all we do. And I've got a team and people are like, oh, because there's a lot of people in marketing who we do it all. We have this one-stop shop. And I was like, too much. And I'm like, you got to own a lane. Like, that's how I like to say, you have to own it and make yourself like easy to refer to, right? Because if people think custom dev, female founded, I'm probably the only one they've ever met, and that makes it more memorable. Right. And you're like, okay, custom dev, I want to work with a female. I want to work with a woman. Like, okay, hey, like, I know I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm the only one I've ever met who does it, in 10 years. So that's kind of fun. And, but yeah, definitely you have to make it meaningful. Like, it has to be like, okay, I get it.
It has to be your thing. And I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't build websites.
Yeah.
I just did I redid their messaging and their like sales process, and they use Squarespace. So I popped it in there. Yeah. Like, I will call you if I need something custom built, because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a surefire way for me to break something.
Yeah. And I'm the same. I'm never going to touch branding. I'm like, not me. Do not call me. You need to go see Reland. Like, you can't. No.
You're just like, we can't build something if you don't have something to build.
No, you can't. And I think running a business, running a business, or whether it's a house, or like you and I both have kids, and like, it's like, you kind of got to know where your value proposition is. Like, you got to know what you do. And yeah, I like to kind of describe it like in the agency space, like, or the marketing space. It's like, as you kind of get more and more experience and more time in the marketing world, you just kind of realize you're most efficient when you are like part of a drawer of knives. I like to explain it like this, right? Where like you have your design knife and your branding knife and your SEO knife and you have your content knife and you have your conversion optimization people and you've got all these things. But like most of them are not going to be in the same drawer. You know, they're all going to be like, and so it's kind of like, but when you need that knife, you take it out. And it's like building those partnerships, building those connections, those referral like sources. That's the only way you can pull it off, you know, because like to what you were saying, like women, to kind of build on that, yeah, we think we need to do everything. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, you really don't. And you're going to suck at it. Like, if we tried to do SEO, my clients, I would lose all my clients. I'm like, I know nothing about SEO. Like, you don't want me doing that. Like,
you don't want me doing it either, but I have
yeah,
the best person for you.
Yeah.
I know who to call and when to call them and when you should do it.
Exactly.
That is what you need from somebody if they're not in their expertise. 100%. That right there.
Yeah, it's like that Henry Ford. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's like that Henry Ford example, right? Where he was like running this company and he had like a 5th grade education, and I'm probably butchering the story, but they were like, you know, there was all this investigation, like, is he capable of leading this company? And he's like, look, I've got the buttons on my desk. I know which button to push for the person I need to get to answer my question. Like, I don't need to know everything. And I feel the same way. I feel very much that way. Like, if a client asks me a question, I'm like, let me get back to you. And I'll like, and you like, you know, I don't have to know, but I just have to know the people who know. Yeah. And then, yeah, so definitely we do not have to do it all.
I think people underestimate or misinterpret what leadership actually means. In that regard, like, it's not, yes, lead from the front. That's totally a thing. And I wish more people did it. But lead from the front doesn't mean do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it is, leaders really know how to build up the people around them.
Yes.
And how to use those skills for good to move the needle the direction it needs to move.
Absolutely.
And that was definitely a sewing reference in using needle, everybody, because otherwise the needle only goes like 2 directions. All right, cool. Glad we had that chat. Just had to clarify because we went from Henry Ford to sewing.
It's all clear. It's all clear.
It's just, I like realized I was like, needle cars, and
we're good. Everyone's with us anymore. With us, it's okay.
I just realized that. I was like, nobody really hand sews anymore.
No.
Okay. I could go on a million tangents because I was about to just transition to how my grandma taught me how to make scrunchies when I was like in the 5th grade. I digress. So, you know, let's look to the future. I mean, because you do really, really cool things. And, you know, you have this agency, you have the consulting background, you know how to sell. What are your long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
No, that's a great question. And I was actually like doing some goal setting with my friend, like ChatGPT, you know, like last month. And because after I finished chemo, I kind of came back to work and I was like, okay, now I am in a new season, like in every capacity, in every, it was like my 10-year anniversary of running the business, finished chemo. While being in chemo, like I'd hired someone to replace me in my business. So I now had this like clean slate, right? To be like, okay, like, what am I going to do? And so I always use ChatGPT and we'd like talk to each other. And I was like, what are we all about? Like, what is this business? And what are we here for? And like, 'cause sometimes you're too close to it, right? Like you can't see it. And if you train the AI, it can like talk to you, like it knows your deal, right? And it was saying, you know, like On Purpose Projects, that's the name of my agency. It's like not even just about fixing websites. It's like you are creating online businesses. And the medium may change, like with AI websites, who knows, that might pivot, that might shift, might become something else one day. But it's like you help people create their online storefront in a way that's empowering, no stress. You're an entrepreneur, they're an entrepreneur, like, and so I kind of look at it like as a team, as a business, I look at, we have like all these different, I don't know if they're called KPIs, wouldn't call it that, but like for me, part of the mission is to create empowering jobs for my team, decrease tech stress for my clients, build web technology that helps people all around the world. We give back, you know, a percentage of revenue we donate to awesome causes. And so it's kind of like pivoting is like, okay, it's not about, it was because the 10 years was hard for me. It was kind of like that 7-year itch when you're like, you know, and I was like, I was really struggling. Like, what am I going to do for the next 10? Like, do I want to even do this for the next 10? Like, do I, like, you're just having this like crisis, right? And I was like, okay, but what could it mean that's bigger? And to answer your question, it's like, yeah, like tech for most people of any kind is a humongous nightmare. It's like a humongous burden. And it's like, okay, so obviously with AI, I have no way to know where the tech is going to go. But with smart people around me, like we can like adapt to whatever's going on in the world. And the mission is the same. So, I mean, my goal personally as an agency is I want to like, I've always wanted, since I was like 15 years old, I wanted to like sell $100,000 a month in services. Like I've always wanted to have $1 million company. I don't know. It probably doesn't even sound that big to some people listening to this. They might be like, that's dumb. That's so small. But to me,
No, I think it's great.
I'm like, that's just always been like 2% of founders, 2% of female founders ever cross $1 million. And I was like, in sales. And I was like, okay, like that's always been my goal. And having 3 kids and then having cancer, I'm kind of like, was never really top priority. But now that I'm back, I'm like, no, okay, let's do this thing. And so now it's like putting that infrastructure in place, building out that team, building out the back end, adapting to all the pivots in the world. And so I don't know if I'm answering your question. I'm kind of talking all over the place, but
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm following.
Okay, nice. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of like and then it's just, I was on this webinar, I was on this call yesterday with a couple of colleagues of mine. And we were talking about goal setting, and we are like, how are we handling goal setting right now in a world of like constant changing and adapt? Like the world every like 90 days is different. And it's like, you just take it one day at a time, right? Like you have your vision of what you want to do. Like, okay, I want to be a woman who runs a 7-figure tech company. And all that means, like for my kids and for my family and for my team and for my clients and for whatever. And okay, but what is that going to look like? We don't really know. Like, we don't really know how that's going to go down or how that's going to come to be. But it's kind of like, because economies change, and then there's pandemics, and there's technology changes, and there's like a million things. And, you can't control the variables of the world. Like you can't. And so you just have to kind of pivot.
I mean, we've been living in variables for so long that like the concept of anything that happened like mid to early 90s and behind, it's not real anymore.
No, it's not.
That's a figment of our imagination. The world's just moving too fast. So pivots are our daily. That's our norm.
Yeah.
And it's not going away. No. I'm just always holding my breath for what's next at this point. But I was having this internal conversation, to your point of like, how do we do this? And that internal conversation with me was like, listen, none of this is happening to you. So just keep doing what you need to do to affect change. And that 2%, if there's 2% of something, that means that more than one person is a millionaire as a woman. Oh, yeah. Which means me and you can very easily do it.
Absolutely.
Without blinking. It's happening. We're claiming it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so anytime somebody's like, yeah, but that's just, there's such a low percentage. I was like, but there's a percentage.
It's possible.
Like y'all can hang out with a 98.
Yeah.
I'm going this way.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's a small goal. I don't think you should even minimize that goal. When you hit it, you're going to hit it. But they do say once you make your first million, the second one's a heck of a lot easier.
That's what they say. All the mindset work and leadership skills. And so I'm really hoping that's true.
I know a lot of people who have made their first million.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, me too.
And it's fun to be around them because they really believe in you. That's the funniest thing about like people always try to make money out to be this evil thing. And I'm like, everybody I know who has a lot of money is actually the people who believe in me the most.
They're so awesome. I know, right? Yeah, because we don't see it like it's a small pie, right? It's like we can all do it. Let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's like level up. Yeah, absolutely.
New thing. A girlfriend of mine, she lives in New York City. She's been, I don't know where she's been. I want to say it's like Nantucket or something like that, just based off of the view that she's had outside of her window every time we talk on Zoom. But she's been renting this home during the summertime to get out of the city. And she's had people over every single weekend.
Oh.
Every single weekend, so people can have like a place to vacation, to like take a breather.
Love it. That's so awesome.
So there's there is beauty, I think, in having money. And I mean, you even said it. It's like giving back a percentage of our revenue and doing things like that.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that when women have more money, sorry, men, and no, I'm not sorry. Um, when
Sorry.
women have more money, we are going to use it for more forces of good, and it's going to impact our world for the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And more of us need to have it.
I agree.
So
I
I'm cheering you on. Just think
love
about
it.
the difference we're going to make.
Absolutely.
Just,
Yeah, me too. Like everyone I know runs their own business. Like everyone I know more or less in my world are like female founders. And I know a lot of people over that 7 million, like sorry, 7 million, 7-figure mark. I know a woman who runs like an 8-figure agency as a single mom. And I'm like, it's there, like it's available, right? And it's just like I think the question is like, are we willing to learn the skills and make the changes to our habits, to our thinking to make it happen? Like, one thing like I know for me is always on top of mind. Like, you're probably going to feel lousy a lot of the time making these changes. I think like a lot of people think or they romanticize like it's going to feel good to go after these goals. And you're like, it feels like shit going after these goals. You're like, it sucks. Like even now, just coming out of chemo, like before cancer, I was like super athletic. Like, I had a yoga teacher certification. I was like, I trained for a bikini competition like 5 years before. And then like, you have a bilateral mastectomy, you do like 6 months of chemo. You're kind of like on your ass for like a year, like more or less, right? And so now that I'm finally like, okay, like I decided like 6 weeks ago, I was like, no, I'm gonna like, I need to start like, I can't train the way I trained before, but like, you know what? I can do some like reformer Pilates. Like that is such a supportive
I
workout.
love reformer Pilates.
And it's like a great workout, but you're not like, your posture's perfect. You're not going to get hurt. Like it's so supportive. But I'm like, so I went to class this morning at 6 a.m. because before my kids, before my work, before my everything. And I'm like, this sucks, man. I'm like, I don't want to be going anywhere at 5:45 in the morning, like let alone doing a workout. And I'm just like, but you know what? No. And I just have this like line in my mind I did that last week. And then it was like, there's all these different things. And it's like, do you want your drum or do you want your dream? And it's like, that's it. That's really it. And I think is like, we just have this psychosis of like achieving something big is like empowering and inspiring. And I climbed the mountain. It's like, yeah, it might be fun at the top, but all the way up to that mountain, it's a nightmare. You're cold.
There's loose rocks.
Yeah. You're cold. You're like all these things. You watch like Everest. I don't know about you, but I like watch a lot of adventure like biographies. And I'm like, that looks like hell to me. None of that seems awesome. None of it at all. Like how many people die every year trying to achieve this goal? And I was like, I think that's what women, I think I know because like, again, I've run my own business for 30 years, is like, we think that it's supposed to like feel good or it's supposed to feel like aligned and I feel so inspired. You don't feel inspired at all. You're like, I have a goal. I know why I want it, but you know what? The path to get there is probably going to be hard and it's probably going to feel bad and it's probably going to be very uncomfortable. Like, whether you're getting back in shape or whether you're like changing your thinking or whether you're like creating new connections or new marketing or making new hires, like I remember when I was like had to make my hire, my ops person, like when I had like I didn't know if I was gonna be working, I hired someone I knew. That's a 60,000 a year hire, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna be not working because I'm in bed. Number two, okay, now who's gonna be doing sales? I do all the sales on my team. I still have my old team to pay. I'm a single parent. Like, where in the world is this $60,000 gonna come from to like pay all these new things and pay myself and pay all the costs that go along with all these other things? And then you're like, you know what? Fuck it. You're like, no, we're going for it. We're going for it. And I went to the bank. I got a loan to like cover her payroll for like 6 months or whatever. Cause I was like, I don't know. Like, but what choice do I have? Like, I can't work. Like every other week, I'm like on my ass. Like, I can't run a business like this. Like, I was too sick, right? As is anybody who's going through chemo.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't have to use that money. I fucking figured it out. And like, and that's the thing though, is like women think, oh, it's like, if it's hard, it's wrong. No, it's not. If it's hard, you're probably growing, right? And there's this quote, so I'm like totally on a rant right now, but it's like, there's this quote that's like, you know what? Like the price of growth is like a challenge, is feeling uncomfortable. And so it's not a no, it's a yes, right? It's, I don't know, it's tirade, but like, I don't know. This is where my head's at right now. It's like, as you grow, you
It's,
need new things, new skills.
and you got to feel your emotions. I think sometimes people don't realize how much you have to feel your emotions. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I was mentally going through it earlier this year,
Yeah.
like mentally going through it. So I don't know how many podcast episodes at this point, y'all. Somebody can put it in the comments that I referred to my hill, but I would
Yeah.
go sit on this hill and I think the people on the hill thought I was nuts because it's a park on top of a hill.
She's lost.
And I would just sit on my like little circular blanket and I would listen to my meditation music and I would journal about the worst things.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that could happen?
That's
And
so
I would
good.
just feel it and I would like cry because your brain doesn't know the difference.
That's so
You know what
good.
I mean?
Exercise.
It doesn't know the difference between the past,
Yeah.
future, or present. And so what you do in your brain matters. And so if you felt the worst scenario isn't scary anymore.
Yeah, exactly. This is exercise, the same thing. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And if you think you could live with the worst that could happen, then what are you afraid of? And it's not that the fear is gone, but yeah, no, it's definitely it's a mind game. Like, people ask me all the time, like, okay, I've run my own business for 30 years. Like, I've always been self-employed. I've never had a job. And they're like, well, how do you do that? That's so great. And I was like, like, running a business, it's a mind game. Like, yeah, okay, there's money skills. Yeah, there's mechanics. Yes, you need to know how to management, like all these things. But I'm like, if you can't mentally keep yourself centered and regulated, like what you're doing, like sitting on the hill meditating and journaling, like that's like regulation. Like, if you can't do that and you can't keep yourself in a place of being calm and creative and like I have a friend and she's just constantly burning out. And I'm like, what are you doing? When are you going to get some help? When are you going to like get some support? When are you going to stop working in this like boom and bust cycle? When are you going to like, she's just constantly like taking leave from her business because she's like too burnt out. I'm like, you're never going to, you got to like check yourself. You got to like pace yourself and take care of yourself and like take care of your head. And because, yeah, you can't make the long run if you can't even support the short term, right? Like, so you're doing so smart. It's so smart what you're doing or do. Yeah.
It's a lot of brain work. It is so much brain work. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm right now trying to find the right salesperson.
Yeah.
And I think it's sometimes people are like, oh, I have to pay this person. In the case of ops, yes, you absolutely had to pay somebody,
Yeah.
Natasha. But like sales, I'm just trying to find that perfect salesperson who can start commission only to start and then get us to a place where we can.
Yeah.
You know, it's $1 million for me is not that far away if I can find the right person who can kick it off.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. It's our team, right? And like, kudos to you for thinking like, it doesn't have to be you. Because like, I think just to your whole point, and maybe that's the message of the call today, is just like, you can't do it all, nor should you even attempt to. Like, it's not wise and it's not good leadership. And yeah, so to find that person, like that salesperson, biz dev person, whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
They exist.
They exist. Yeah.
They exist. And you know, like, I mean, it exists to a certain point of I do high ticket. So it's very easy for me to be like, you sell one, 10% is 2K. Like that's 2K out the gate. Easy peasy. You sell 4, that's 8K out the gate. Like if you're selling 4 consistently a month, I'm also paying you a salary. Like plus that 10%.
Totally.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. What's not easy is finding the right person who works well with you.
I agree. Yeah, chemistry is everything. I've hired like tons of people, and yeah, chemistry is everything. Yeah.
And that's it. But we all have the tools.
Yeah.
If you have the internet and a laptop, you've got the tools to be very successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The question is, are you going to choose to be? That's
exactly.
the real
one. You to choose to be, right? Yeah, because you can't just go to Pilates one time. You know, you got to like, okay, 100 times.
I'm going to have to join you at the 6 a.m. Pilates club because I have not gone all month because of football.
It doesn't happen. If you're a mom, you can't let it like sit. You got to like, I know, just
gotta find another time.
Schedule. I'm like, I can't. Like, I got a team, I got kids, I got like stuff, and I'm like, and I only really work until 2:00, like, because I run my business part time, like, and basically, and so it's like when, and I'm like looking at all the class times, and like, I'm like the only ones that are like the level that I want to be going to or like 6:30 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, if that's when it is, that's when it is. And it's like, okay. Like, yeah,
That is a
your
good
point, it's
idea.
not fun.
Yeah, because I used to go from 6 to 8. I would go back-to-back Pilates classes on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And then pick like 1 or 2 on the days that I don't have Grayson.
Yeah.
But with football and school back in session, guess who takes the kid to football every single day of the week?
Exactly. Exactly.
And football is during my normal Pilates time. So I'm like trying to readjust, and it's just been a doozy.
Oh, I agree. I know.
All right, everybody. What we're trying to tell you is go do the hard thing. And I'm not a morning person. So I'll follow up on if I rolled out of bed at 5, something to make it.
Yes.
Well, my friend, this has actually been an amazing conversation. So many gold nuggets, so many things that I think women need to hear today, that A, it's possible. B, we're all going to become part of the 2% that we push it to 10. Yeah. And like, we can do hard things.
We can do hard things.
Yeah. We can do hard things.
Point blank. Too, you know, I've thought about so many times of getting that. We can do hard things. Like,
we can do hard things.
Do hard things.
You might not like it,
but you can do it.
You can do it. And so every day is a series of choices. That's what I like to tell my child. Every day you had a choice.
Yeah.
And once you made a choice, you had another set of choices.
Yeah.
It's just a series of choices.
Exactly.
So as today, my choice to get my steps in were to walk him all the way up to his classroom, because that was 1, 2, 3, 4 flights of stairs that I had to go up and then back down. I was like, I don't need to take you directly to class, but mom needs her steps. I know you know the way.
He's like, leave me alone. He just walks some other kid to class. You're like,
yeah. Oh, and those stairs tend to get me winded really fast because we haven't been in school, all summer. So I had to walk up a hill, up all the stairs, and then back to my car. And he was like, "What are you doing, Mom?"
You make it happen.
I was like, "It's not for you, honey. It's for Mom. You just keep going." You gotta love it. All right. Well, we always end this with fun questions. Yes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. What does a day living a luxurious life look like to you?
Such a good question. It's kind of like, I'm very inspired by people who like live in their van on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know. I just like waking up and you're like at this beach, and living a van does not seem luxurious, but that kind of like freedom to like move and pivot. And you're like, we don't like this town, let's keep moving. And just kind of have that ability to like be nimble and see things and off the beaten track things and have all sorts of adventures. Like, I've tried to teach myself, like, I'm the type of person who wants a big house and an Audi Q5, but I'm like, I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm like, let's have some fun, right? So, I don't know, have a life of like adventure where you're out doing things and have that freedom to like pick and choose where you want to be. And that kind of thing. I know it's not very sexy, but I think that sounds like, I look at these people and I'm like, that looks so fun. Like, I'm sure there's so many inconveniences in finding a bathroom and all, like, I'm sure there's so much drama, but like, I'm like, that looks pretty
there's
cool.
drama in daily life, owning a huge house where you have to clean it all the time or pick up your children's socks.
Exactly.
Like, choose your drama, I guess.
Yeah, pick your problems, right? Exactly.
Because you always see them like on the edge of like the Grand Canyon, like looking out, and you're like, huh.
Oh, I know. You're like, okay, that looks like so easy. And I've heard like 5 different things we didn't know about traveling in a van. And, you watch these videos and you're like, okay, but I don't know. I guess when you've just like, I don't know, I've done a lot of travel and I don't know, it's the idea of, like just packing up and leaving and going, and you're not waiting for a flight or for the cruise ship to leave, or you can stop and stay and go. And like, I don't know. That sounds pretty.
You're like, I just want to roam.
The word, maybe luxury. Like that freedom, the luxury, the freedom of the luxury with the freedom. Yeah.
I have a friend who did that, and then she actually ended up settling in Boston.
Interesting.
Of all places, I was kind of like, you settled in Boston?
I know, that seems like a weird choice.
Yeah, I haven't been to Boston, but I feel like it's one of those places where you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I know.
And there are no in-between people.
I do not think so.
Yeah. I mean, Boston's have been real ones from day one. They were the ones throwing me into the harbor. So they know something that I don't.
Yeah.
I'm such a West Coast girl. It'll never change.
I can't do cold or snow. Like
I cannot. Like I am West Coast till the day I die. It sounds like a rap line.
Yeah.
All right, last one, best one.
Okay.
In one word, what is your primary motivation in business?
I'd say empowerment. Like of my team, of my clients, of the people who buy my clients' things, of using my business as a medium to like raise all boats.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Natasha, I could do this for hours. We would have so much fun. Just being like, ladies, let's get in business formation.
Yes.
But where can everybody find you if they need you?
Thank you. Yeah, just I would say LinkedIn is my main spot. Like that's where my people are, and that's where I'm there most of the time. And so I'm sure there'll be a link in the show notes. So just pop over link and say hi. Mention the call and that you saw us here, and be more than happy to chat if anybody has questions about women in business or websites or whatever. Working mom, like I'm here for it. So however to support your community, I'm all over that.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. If you were in your car, thanks for lending us your ears. If you're watching us, I hope we didn't do things too weird today, because I know that I'm forever talking with my hands and making the coolest faces that my team gets to show me later. But super excited. If you are looking to build the back end of your e-com site, please call Natasha. If you're looking to just figure out your brand messaging and where you're going to take it to scale it to those next high levels, give me a call. We have fun freebies in the show notes. But until next time, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye, friends.